All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the State of the League podcast. With me, as always, is the world famous Pablo Escoball. And today we're joined by
Save.
Kofie, the internet's most miserable Pistons fan, I guess, or
Oh,
maybe the happiest one. I don't know. I'm not really that tapped
I don't
into the
know.
state of the fan base.
Probably a mixed bag. I went on r/Detroit Pistons last night, and I feel like I'm healthily in the middle.
Dude, I can't believe I didn't do that. That must have been a complete hellhole. Yeah. So the Pistons lost the Battle of Mid last night, and they are now on a 14-game losing streak. They could not overcome the force of nature that is Kyle Kuzma, and so we're here to talk about the game and the state of Detroit in general. So I guess I'll open the floor up to Kofie at this point, the biggest fan in the room. How are you feeling right now?
Dude, this is absolute rock bottom. I think it's absolute rock bottom in terms of just like this entire regime, the 4-year rebuild. I cannot think of, and the thing is that I am not mad at any of the players. This has nothing to do with the players. I look at these players, I'm like, they're trying hard. They're NBA players here. They're NBA pieces here. I'm looking up at the front office. I'm looking up at the ownership, and I feel like Detroit hasn't won a playoff game since the Obama era. And I remember that I was like walking down like the street of North Carolina, like holding up signs. Like I was like in middle school, maybe. That was that. It's been
was
a while.
it first term or second term?
Oh, it was first term. It was like early 2000.
This is like
I
hope
think it
and
might have been
change,
Bush's.
man.
Yeah, like the
hope and
election
change.
year for Obama.
It's hope and change, dude. I remember, dude. That was like 15 years ago. It's been sad because like I like players on this team. It's cool, but I feel like a lot of players are playing above their role, right? Like Isaiah Stewart, love what he like brings to an NBA team, but I don't think he should be a starter. But he has no choice to be the starter because we do not have the depth, because Troy Weaver took 2 swings on backup bigs, and it's just like you watch like during that whole game and you're just like frustrated with that. And the fact that Marvin Bagley was a healthy scratch yesterday, I'm just like, wow.
That shocked me.
Yeah. I was like, where is, because it was like mid first quarter, I was on Pistons Twitter and someone was like, where's Bagley? And then the beat writer was like, actually, that's a good point. And I'm like, this is where we're at right now. So
oh man, they're going with Wiseman tonight. Yeah, that was a little surprise. I don't know. It's just when you have both of them back there, it's like I get trying to balance the minutes if you're Monty Williams, but you should also probably like, this is the game that Detroit needed to win, and so like throwing Wiseman a developmental 30 minutes last night, just being like, hey, he's got to get his feet under him. Let's let him get some play here. I don't know if that was specifically the game to do it. Yeah, Pablo, how are you feeling about the Pistons?
Not too great. Well, here's the thing with the Pistons is they have made every single draft pick that I would have made if I was running their team over the years. So as this has gone on, I'm looking at them like, God, it's a good thing I'm not a GM. But I don't know how to feel, because I still like a lot of the young talent, but it seems that they just cannot function as a winning team, or even close to a winning team yet. And the main thing I'm concerned about is Cade Cunningham. And so I'm seeing a lot of parallels with Cade Cunningham between him and my football team is the Bears, and I'm seeing a lot of Justin Fields parallels.
Oh,
and
wow.
So like with Cade, I'm wondering like how much of it is him and how much of it is the worst possible situation. Because like I don't know if he still is, but he was leading the league in turnovers. The efficiency is horrific, but when it looks good, it looks so good. And that's when Justin Fields, it's like, oh, he's second most rushing yards by a quarterback ever. Oh, but sometimes he just throws the ball into his offensive linemen's helmets, and it just looks so bad at times. So I'm wondering, Kofie, as a Pistons fan, where is your mind at with Cade? Are you still like, okay, this is our guy, we just don't have the right pieces around him? Or are you worried? Are you like, okay, is he the guy?
I honestly want to see more of Cade and Ivy taking turns versus everything revolves around Cade. I feel like there have been a couple of Pistons like fourth quarters where it seems like everything gets stagnant, and then Cade is just being asked to do like a Herculean task, which like for the team around him and the roster that they put up there, it's just like a little bit too lofty of a goal for like what we have. And it's just been a weird ride, with Pistons Twitter, because I remember the first starting lineup graphic. That's a cool thing that we do. We look at the starting lineup graphics and we're just like, oh my god, what is happening? We had the first one where it's like Killian Hayes and Asar Thompson, and that was like, okay, it's really hard seeing Cade. This has nothing to do with Asar Thompson. I think he's going to like develop the shot eventually, but it is really hard seeing like Cade pass, like make a great pass in terms of like, and I think he's like lackadaisical with some passes sometimes, but it's often like weird to see him make a great pass, and then it's like Killian Hayes in the corner for a three, and that's like not like it reminds me of when Trae Young got in the league and he was making all these great passes, but then it'd be like Alex Len in the corner, right? And you're like an MB, like another player definitely hits that shot, but like you made the right play. I can't be mad at you. But then Cade also does like sometimes, like yesterday in the Wizards game, he had like some pocket passes to Duren that were just like at his feet, and it's just like certain things that I wish are going to be like ironed out over the course of the season. So I'm not really like worried about that kind of stuff. I think it's just more just like, hey, does this team actually like fit together?
Yeah, you really hit a lot of my feelings about Cade directly on the head. I think there's like a kind of a Venn diagram of like shit Cade Cunningham does poorly, and then shit the Pistons have done poorly around him, and we're right in the middle of it, where it feels like with a great situation, I'm still not sold on Cade Cunningham in terms of being like the best player on a highly competitive team. I think he might be better suited to being like the second best, or I mean, he'd be really good as like the third best. But combined with that, I think I saw a good tweet about this where Monty Williams is so ready to just like bench guys and swap pieces out, especially on the perimeter with Ivy in exchange for Killian Hayes, that a lot of the times Pistons players will try to avoid making mistakes. It feels like, and it will just funnel more offense into this overload that Cade Cunningham is already like underqualified to deal with. He can't just be everything for this Pistons team. And so I think Monty Williams being ready to just like pull guys at the first or second mistake is really not helping Cade's development in that regard.
I think it's more for like towards the wings, right? I think it's more towards like the backcourt when Monty is doing that. I remember there was the Pistons Pelicans game. I think the Pelicans went zone, right? And Asar shot like 3 or 4 corner threes in a row, and they weren't even close to like hitting. And like that's fine. Like I'm not mad at that. Like it's a growing pains thing. Like I believe in that. So, but it feels like there was another game where Asar only played like 2 minutes in the entire like second half or something. So it's like getting pretty bizarre in terms of like who Monty's playing and who he's not. And I feel like as a team, as players, that I don't think there's an NBA roster where players need more confidence in like not feeling like they can't make mistakes than this team. I mean, this team leads the league in turnovers, and not all those turnovers are just due to like falling asleep at the wheel. Sometimes it's just like they're young. They have to process the NBA game.
Yeah.
They're going to have to learn that on the fly. But if the players are so worried about being pulled for this, then I feel like nobody's like learning anything. Because it's like, how are you supposed to learn stuff when you're just like, I mean, you can learn, of course you can learn stuff while you're observing the game, but I feel like, what about the players that learn best by like trying and messing up and failing?
I feel like that's most players, just in terms of like running through things at game speed in the middle of an NBA game. You're learning a lot more, especially for a guy. Killian Hayes, I mean, will probably be what he is for the rest of his career. But when you look at Asar Thompson, this guy who has so much potential, but simultaneously these very glaring flaws that if you're going to win, 18 games anyways, run him into the ground and like let him, I mean, trial by fire a little bit.
And I think it's because he's doing so well despite those flaws. Like, and he's doing like well, like the national media landscape is like Asar Thompson got a Ben Taylor video. Dude, I was like, oh my, I saw that in my YouTube sub box and I was like, oh, is that what I think it is? And it said like 2K video game. I was like, oh my God, we are so back. Even though this is mid losing streak, right? But see, as a Pistons fan, it just takes like that kind of like, hey, people are noticing that like there are some like good enough players here, and like there's something special on the court. Even if I'm watching like our team lose, it's cool to see Asar Thompson get the rebound and take it coast to coast for a layup, and then or like just be active, just and try his hardest, especially like even though like I feel like the team doesn't. I don't think the team has a trying hard problem. I feel like the team just is like they're just a young team. That's all. And I feel like Asar is definitely. I feel like if that Asar effort even becomes like half as contagious as I want it to be, like I feel like there's more hope than it feels right now.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with their effort at all. It felt like several times yesterday they were like on the ground or loose balls, everything. It's just a fit problem and I mean a talent problem to some extent. I do think people are playing a little bit above their depth on like a competitive NBA team's depth chart. Pablo, how you feeling?
It feels like the roster is so extreme in the way that there's just guys, you have guys who can play defense, you have guys who can make an open three-pointer, but it's like none of them are the same guys. And so like you have Asar Thompson, like he might be the best shot blocking rookie wing ever. He's just completely unbelievable, but it's like, oh, he shoots 18% from three or whatever. Killian Hayes, good passer, good defender, just can't do anything offensively. And then like Marcus Sasser has been kind of a revelation on the offensive end. Marcus Sasser is looking really good for a rookie, but I mean, he's a small, like, what is he, like 6'1", 6'2" point guard. Isaiah Livers, I think, can shoot, right? And like, yeah, just Jalen Dirt. It just feels like Monty Williams still doesn't know what he wants to be with this roster. If at the beginning of the season, it seemed like he was like, defense is our identity. We're gonna go all in on defense. This is why Jaden Ivey can't play, because we're a defensive team and Killian Hayes brings defense. And then they play defensive basketball and they're like, oh my God, we are a mid defense even when we go all defense. Let's go all offense and see how that works. It's like, oh no, we're still mid as an all offense team. Turns out we might just be bad. So I don't know what Monty Williams is going to do from here on out, but it's definitely a personnel issue.
It sucks that like you could Dragon Ball Fusion dance a couple of these players.
Oh my God, so like, many.
If you fuse Asar Thompson with even like Stanley Amude, dude, like I'm like, yo, I'm like, it's just like, hey, like that would be so much like better than like what we have right now, where it's like you. And I feel like the thing about Livers coming back, which is cool, is that Livers is not afraid to shoot.
Yeah,
it is what it is. But I feel like we're getting a little bit more space than the start of the season, which was like absolutely no one. Also, the Pistons injury report would be like 6 or 7 people, and I know that a lot of Pistons fans have been like holding on to like injured players coming back, but like it's not injured. The injured players are not going to fix this, but it might make it more watchable. That's probably like the bar that we're setting right now.
You won't lose by 20 to the Wizards, is what you're saying?
Dude, that I was on the Dunker Spot playback TV with Nikias and Steve.
The legends.
And we were just talking, and I just blink, and the just game got away. I was like, why are we down 15? Like, what just happened? We were just like talking about whatever. And I was like, we're down 15. Wait, what happened? What's going on?
If you did the Dragon Ball Z fusion dance with Marvin Bagley and James Wiseman, is that a good player, or is it still not very good?
I think it's still, that's the thing. that I wouldn't. I would fuse Bagley and Stewart.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's a good player. That is a good player.
I would fuse that aspect or something like that. I don't know.
Ivy and Hayes would be crazy.
Right. That's the thing. It's like these players, if you fuse them together.
Yeah.
They're either
shift the resources from away from the salary cap towards quantum physics or whatever that's included in. That might be better long term. Put that Little Caesars money into it. Is that who the owner is? Is he the Little Caesars guy? Yeah.
The Little Caesars Arena? That fucking rocks. Oh my god. It's better. I think the Nuggets sponsors defense contractor. So hell yeah. Ball Arena, you think about the glass jars? No, they're making missiles. Yeah. Shout out to Denver, I suppose.
Shout
is there
to
anything
Demon Airport?
Demon Airport? Is there anything about the game yesterday specifically that you guys want to touch on that really jumped out to you while you were watching it?
The fact that I will give credit to the Wizards. The fact that Jordan Poole hasn't been having a great start to the season, but the fact that they got that performance out of a 35-year-old Gallo, right? And then Denny and Kispert were looking fine, and then Koulibaly too, and then Kuzma was cooking. It was just the Wizards couldn't miss yesterday, and I really haven't watched that many Wizards games, but I haven't seen them look like that.
They miss a lot. I'll say, as someone who's watched a couple.
You saw them in person, man.
Yeah,
that is strength. I miss DC so much.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. Shout out to the guy who got me those tickets. Shout out to the 4 Luka fans who sat in front of us the whole time. I'm not joking. They literally had their phones out and went, Luka, oh my God. And these are 24-year-old people. And so, I mean, no judgment. I didn't record them in public or anything. But guys, dial it back. It's not like Jokic is there or anything,
Dude, the fact that Jokic and Mike Malone got ejected from the Pistons game, and that was oh my God, we could win this game, and still didn't.
I thought it was going to be the one. There's been a couple of those for Denver. They were almost the one that broke the Clippers losing streak when they got Harden. They were almost the one for Detroit. They were almost, I don't know.
But the thing is, if you look at Detroit's schedule, I don't think they win until the new year.
It's the hardest remaining strength of schedule, I'm pretty sure.
Wow, that's fun.
Straight up. I saw it online. I didn't vet that, so maybe I'm just making shit up. But
it looks tough. it looks difficult. I'm like, oh my God, that was
one thing that jumped out to me when I was watching the game yesterday. It feels like, I don't know. How do you feel about Detroit's wing depth, I suppose? Because it felt like I like Hayes defensively, and I love Asar defensively, obviously. But in terms, it always felt like there was a guy on the court when the Wizards were running out Denny and Kuzma at the same time. And when Gallo was in, it felt like this too, where you just have a guy giving up 6 inches in the backcourt or something. How did that jump out to you at all?
I think what jumps out usually in these Pistons rotations is that you look at 4 players on the court and you're like, okay, this all fits. And you look at a 5th guy and you're like, what's going on? Right. And it's and I feel like, and I've said this before, it's Monty Williams is trying to solve a puzzle, but some of the puzzle pieces are missing. And some of the pieces from that puzzle are from another puzzle, right? A completely different puzzle. So whatever you put as the finished product, it's not going to look like a complete thing. And again, that's the frustrating thing about the Pistons is that it has nothing to do with the players. I am not mad at any of the players. They are trying their best. This is just this front office looked at these players, saw their skills, talents, and was just hey, this will fit. Also, I don't think Troy Weaver gets enough flack for having that letter being oh, the rebuild takes a long time. And then his only off-season additions were Joe Harris and Monty Morris. And I haven't seen Joe Harris in 3 weeks. And then Monty Morris has not played.
What's going on with them? I forgot all about them.
So Joe Harris, I think, is injured right now, but even when he did play, he didn't play that much. Like it's people are like, yeah, this is not the like I don't know what Joe Harris you think you were gonna get, and then Monty Williams just hasn't. Then Monty Williams just hasn't. I'm sorry, Monty Morris just hasn't played.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't really. If you're gonna lose a bunch, same way I was saying, just run Asar Thompson out there. I guess you want to run your young guys, but like 14 straight, I don't know. Maybe Monte could help a little bit. Maybe run him out there at shooting guard. Move Cade, a 6'7" shooting guard who can do like a little bit of off-ball playmaking shit could move me a little bit. I don't know. Maybe maybe the game would be closer.
I think it's just I just think that you can take a little bit of responsibility off of Cade and I think be fine.
Yeah, I think Jaden Ivey is the guy to do that. And like last night he had like 7 assists, right? Something like that.
Cade had 7 assists and 1 turnover.
No, I think Ivy did as well. No.
Oh yeah, he did. You're right.
Yeah,
like they both. Oh, Ivy had 3 turnovers. Okay, whatever. That's still good. That's still great. That's still great compared to
2-to-1 ratio, baby.
That's what we've been. That's compared to what we've been seeing. Like, that's the thing. Even like the Pistons. Another frustrating thing about the Pistons is even when you like see an individual player be like, "Oh, hey, this is actually pretty good." Lost by 19. You know, it's like, all right.
Yeah, I think the one there's. If we're looking for optimism, I think number 1 it's Asar Thompson's defense, and then number 2 I would go Jaden Ivey because I posted a 47-minute YouTube video talking about Jaden Ivey versus Killian Hayes. Head on over to Hot Tunes TV channel NBA if you're interested to see. But Jaden Ivey has been like elite attacking the rim this year, like 70-something%, in like the high 90th percentile. He's a guy with unreal burst. He's big. He has gigantic hands. He has long arms. He can finish everything, and he's been very efficient as a scorer this year, and his jump shot is coming around. And even if the defense looks rough, I think the playmaking has not been as rough as Monty Williams kind of like tried to sell it as. And so I think you can take solace in the fact that like, okay, it's looking like we have a guy. This is what potential all-star guards are supposed to look like in year 2. And then my third silver lining would be Cade's defense. Cade looks really good on defense as well. And Jalen Duren. Let's not forget, guys, Jalen Duren started the season. He was looking like Dwight Howard. So there's it's not quite the 2012 Bobcats despite the losing streak.
Right. I've been in the camp this season where it's like I would rather I think it's probably for this team. I think it's probably going to be easier to teach Jaden Ivey defense than Killian Hayes jump shooting. And
for sure,
absolutely.
So I'm just like, all right, I will rather choose this than the alternative. And that's nothing against Killian Hayes. I think Killian Hayes will be a great backup guard in the right situation because what he does have offensive strengths. It's just not like heightened by this team. You know?
If Killian Hayes was going to happen, it's unfortunate to say, but it would have happened by now. Like, I don't know if there's anything standing in his way aside from playing with other players. But like, if you can't score, you can't score in year 4, whatever we are in.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's crazy to have the coach be like go to the wall for you and be like, this is our guy. I love what he does. This is and the second Jaden Ivey starts, I looked it up, 17 points per game in the last 4 games. Like he's been like really solid offensively. And so it's just I don't know. It's crazy that the defense is so bad too, because you guys mentioned it. Cade, solid. Duren, solid. Asar, solid. Hayes, when he's out there, is good. I don't know. Just feels like there's pieces where I don't know if Tom Thibodeau had this team, maybe they'd be bottom 20 instead of bottom 30 something. I don't know.
I wonder how many points they give up in transition just by bricking all their jumpers on the other end. I don't know what they rank in there.
Like we probably give away some free fast breaks, man. Some free fast breaks.
I have a couple notes. The funny moments from the game last night. Obviously, Poole making whoever it was fall down and standing still long enough for Asar to come pack his like scoop layup attempt was very funny. But there was another part close to the end of the game where the Wizards called a timeout, and this has been a theme on TikTok a couple times. Where like, what's Poole doing during the timeouts? They call a timeout, and the announcer goes, "Jordan Poole just handed me a handful of M&Ms," and so like, I was like, "What the fuck is Jordan? What's he doing right now? Go to the huddle, man!" Oh man, that
Do we know
fucking
what
killed me
kind?
live.
Do we know what kind? Because if they were peanut, then that's some protein or something, right?
Maybe. Got to keep the blood sugar up, I guess. Damn.
I hope they weren't in his pocket, and I hope he wasn't sweating and getting melted M&Ms in his Wizard shorts. Oh, but I'm pro M&M, so I got to be honest, I support it.
Hell yeah. That's really all I had on the Pistons. I mean, there's only so many ways to say they've lost 14 straight games, and it's hard. And Kofie, I'm sorry you have to go through that, but maybe talking about good basketball teams will make you feel better, even though they're not your own.
There's so much good basketball in the league for me to like truly be upset. I feel like a lot of Pistons. This one was like, okay, let's watch anything else.
Okay. So then moving on to my next segment, to be honest, we were going to record this on Black Friday, and so this is based on buying things. It's called Do You Buy This? But I mean, we're past that. So I'm going to tell you guys a statement. It's either true or I made it up to sound true, and you guys can guess whether it is or not. Starting with a fun team that is very entertaining. The Orlando Magic are currently the second seed in the East with a record of 12-5. Prior to the win over the Charlotte Hornets on Sunday, they had one singular player score 30 points one singular time through the entirety of the season. Is this true or false? What are you guys thinking?
Oh, this could be true because Franz has been really rough to start the season, and then Paulo's just not really filling it up. Oh, this could be true. What do you think, Kofie?
I buy it as well. I think that the points per game is more on the lower end for the Magic, but they do have a lot of people that they can spread the buckets around with. You know, it's like Paulo, Franz, Cole Anthony.
Cole is a threat too.
You know, and then Jalen Suggs. I feel like it's possible that they like spread the wealth and then they're winning by the defense thing. I can totally see it.
Are me and Kofie together, or are we competing against each other?
Let's say competing. Let's get a little competition.
Get away from me,
here.
Kofie. Get away.
Stop the collusion.
My answer is true. This is true.
I'm gonna go false.
Oh shit! All right, well it's true, Kofie. Sorry, bud.
What? Oh wow.
Yeah. Paolo on November 2nd versus the Utah Jazz is the only 30-point game any Magic player had prior to Sunday against the Charlotte Hornets, which is essentially like a 25-point game. Like, they're not good. So, yeah. But the Orlando Magic 2 seed, they're on a 7-game win streak, several very impressive wins in that span. How are you guys feeling about Orlando?
Oh, I'm feeling fantastic about Orlando. Have they played the Pacers yet or no? Do you know? Because everybody
didn't they? I feel like they locked up the Pacers.
Will you look at
and that was
Pacers?
Like a
everybody seems to drop like 50 against the Pacers. So if they're looking for a 30-point game against anybody, that's probably it.
I mean, the Blazers against the Pacers, I think they just dropped like 130 last night.
Scoot Henderson is back.
Oh, okay. So they played the Pacers November 19th. Did they win? And they beat the Pacers. So, yeah. Maybe. I don't know. The problem is they just are so deep with like capable guys in the sense that like if you play that caliber of defense and you just have like 8 guys who can go get 12 points, you don't really need a 30 piece, and it feels like that's how they've been winning games so far.
I'm so jealous of the Magic's rebuild. Like I'm just like, wow. I look over there and like, that's fun. What is that like?
Yeah, what's it like to hit on draft picks? What the hell? Oh my god.
What's it like to go back to your coolest uniforms? That's nice. I think I'm a believer for now. I think the offensive like limitations could catch up to them in the playoffs, And then by spring, we're like, okay, this it was fun in the regular season, but it's not that fun now. But for now, I love it. I love Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs, officially not a bust. He's the heart and soul of this defense. He's flying around everywhere. He's the new Alex Caruso. He can pass. He can shoot right now. He's when he runs in transition, he looks like Derrick Rose post injury, but still good. He's fantastic. Markelle Fultz is injured. Once he comes back, they got another cool, funky guy who also can't shoot, but he can pass and he can defend. Paolo, listen, I am not a big time Paolo believer, but right now I can't say anything. He's playing okay. He's playing okay enough, and he's looking better defensively than I thought he would be. Overall, this is a team like they've made it. They made it their mission statement many years ago. It feels like we're gonna get the long boys and we're gonna defend, and that's what they're doing. And now that they got the thin blue line back on the bench, everything's working out.
It's crazy. He's only 14 minutes a game. I looked that up while I was researching this, and they're like, am I missing something? Do you think he should be playing more, or like just is it like a don't fuck with it if it's not broken situation?
I would assume it's probably like a let's take this slowly, because maybe 15 minutes a game is when his entire body self-destructs. But
then you just have the best defense in the history of the league for 14 minutes a night.
Listen, it can't be a coincidence that the thin blue line, who inspires patriotism all across our country, immediately returns and inspires Orlando Magic nationalism at an all-time high. USA!
USA, USA, USA. Consume. Everybody support the military and Disney
Everybody
World.
buy his Judah brand shoes. There might have been a Black Friday sale. Everyone go on JonathanIsaac.com or so. I don't know what website, but he's head on over to Unite Us. We're taking down Nike and their woke agenda. So yeah.
Damn. Hell yeah. Let him go off the script. He will say the word woke within 30 seconds. We are fucking cooking here, people. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Magic, their win over Boston really impressed me, and so did their win over Denver, but we're not going to talk about that. But like Porzingis goes out in the Boston game. He got hurt, and it became extremely apparent that your comment about the long boys, the Celtics without Porzingis and Holiday are in a different weight class from the Magic right now. The Magic are a really big basketball team, and it's crazy to say that because they don't even Wendell Carter Jr. is out. So like if they have their actual starting center back in, who I'm a huge Wendell Carter guy, I think like I don't know, the offense will become a playoff problem when you don't have a guy who like when shit breaks down in the half court can go get you 30 points in a night or something like that. But I think they can win a lot of basketball games this season. I don't think the 2 seed is like an accident.
Yeah.
Kofie, how you feel?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I really do like see this Orlando team, and I'm just like looking at I'm like, wow, these are like 7, 8, 9 guys who play basketball, and like even like I think Goga, like everybody's like contributing, and then the Tatum, like they put Isaac on Tatum, and like Isaac was like, I was like, yes, this is what you send him in for. I'm like, wow, that's like a real shutdown corner. It felt like just like put him on like Revis on whoever your top wide receiver was or whatever. But yeah, I think that they're gonna get a lot of regular season wins for sure, just off of locking and teams will probably be surprised by like how good they lock up like day to day. Be like, oh my god, this team is trying hard, and you're like Jalen Suggs is like, oh my, like I feel like he's gonna catch a bunch of people. Be like, dude, this is like game 28. What are you doing? And Jalen Suggs is playing his heart out, right? You know, and I just love that kind of like that effort. And as someone that was really high on Jalen Suggs and like used to watch like all his good like the Gonzaga footage, I was like, this is the guy, right? It's really cool to see him like find his like what he's like his niche in the NBA as well. So
That'd be so funny if the reason they're good is because they are the Orlando Magic, and for years every team is like, all right, this is a night off. But now you walk in and they are trying way harder, and they're led by the ultimate football playing basketball player. And so they're like, okay, just let him win. I don't want to have to deal with this. He's diving for every loose ball. He's crashing into my hips. They'll let him win.
There was an interesting podcast interview. I forget what the title of the podcast was, but it was Paulo Banchero, and he was this is like his rookie year, and he was playing like in front of like just the crowd, and then his teammates were like, "You see that? This wasn't here last year." So I feel like even like that kind of thing, like, can just like attitude wise, can just like really uplift the franchise and be like, "Hey, we're doing something good here," you know?
Yes. Damn, that's crazy. The number 1 pick did that for a franchise.
Yeah.
It wasn't Detroit. That's yeah.
He didn't do that interview.
The city I wrote of down Orlando here. Loves Paulo. The country of Italy does not.
No, beef. He's a deceitful. I mean, yeah, he'll stab you in the back, no question. Mamma mia. I wrote down here. Suggs and Cole Anthony too. Both of them play like they are the size of Asar Thompson. It's fucking crazy. And like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like that contributes to the overall feeling of just like, this is a very big basketball team. When you break it down, the backcourt is like 6'3", both of them. But yeah, like anything in transition, a dead fucking sprint. Any loose ball, they're on the floor. They're boxing out. They're trying their hardest to rebound. They will foul you hard and shit like that. So it's just, yeah, I don't know. They both play like the coach said, hey, you're fucking cut if you don't do something impactful in the next 30 seconds. And I love that. Yeah, it's definitely – I don't know if that thing sparks the culture change that Paolo was talking about in that interview, but I would absolutely believe it's a byproduct of it, where once the fans get engaged, it's a lot easier for someone like Suggs, who really thrives on the emotion of the arena and what have you, for him to just like start doing the shit on the fringes of the game that he does really well. And I think that is a big reason compared to last year. He looks like a way better basketball player.
100%. I believe that the energy can be contagious, and just like a circle of like, oh, the Magic are playing hard. Okay, cool. The fans like it. Okay, cool. And the Magic play harder. Okay, cool. I believe in that, honestly.
Yeah. Kofie, you're a North Carolina guy, right?
Yep. Born and raised.
So did you watch Cole Anthony when he was at North Carolina?
I think I was like away at the time. I went to Maryland for college, so I think I was like gone. I was like out of that era by then, and I wasn't able to I wasn't like really ingrained in college basketball as I wanted to be. So like it was like a little bit like just watching here or there, you know.
Yeah. So when he going into him at North Carolina, he was hyped like all offseason to be a potential number 1 pick guy. Some people were like, oh, is this the next Damian Lillard? But then he went to North Carolina, and Roy Williams has him playing literal 1932 basketball or whatever. Like nobody who could make, I don't even know if they had somebody who could make a mid-range jump shot, and he's playing with like Leaky Black, and it's like, are we literally back in time here to the peach hoops? And so he looked awful in college. And so and also he was injured a little bit, and so he ended up slipping to them. And now he's looking like not a number 1 pick type guy, but just like the dynamic scorer that people thought he would be. And so I wonder if there is a world out there where he did go to a program where he was able to put up volume numbers, and then he does go way higher in the draft, and there's like Cole Anthony is just dropping 30 points on 30 shots on some other team in the league for years, but instead he's been hidden away on this Orlando Magic bench, and now we're finally seeing the true Cole Anthony. They're letting him let it fly, and it works out. I saw my boy Ben Pfeiffer, I think, said he might be 6th man of the year.
Ooh, I think that like what fascinates me about college basketball is that there are some programs and coaches that have adapted to the like more modern era, where it's like Alabama was just like, all right, the paint and the 3-pointer, and like Connecticut was like, hey, we're taking all these threes or whatever. But like Roy Williams basketball was like, hey, I'm gonna find as many 6'11", 260 players with 40-inch verticals and we're gonna out rebound everybody. And it worked for college. I can't say it didn't, but like it just fascinates me how you like watch the tournament. There's I forget what the YouTuber is, but he's like, it's a one thing that you need to know about every team in the tournament, and it's so fascinating to watch how like each team like is good at one thing, or like and they're like, oh yeah, this team is really good at like the surprise lob back cut, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And it's like this team is like really modern with it, and then it's like this team runs the Princeton, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Jim Boeheim at Syracuse. If you don't play in my zone, and if you accept a $10 from the NIL, I will kill myself in front of everybody on campus.
Oh my god.
Oh man, yeah, college basketball.
It's genuinely, it's the most disgusting basketball in the world.
Yeah.
I watched so much of it for the prospects, and then like when LaMelo went to Australia, and I would watch those Australian games. I was like, this is fantastic basketball. This is like, the jerseys are awesome. The style of play is up and down. Then I watched, if you watch EuroLeague basketball, that's cool. I watched like Belgium League basketball. I watched the Turkish League when Şengün was there. I watched all these different basketball leagues all around the world. Well,
Respect.
listen, I'm not even close to the spectrum of sickos that are out there. But like once you watch all the basketball leagues, there's just one common denominator, and it's that college basketball. Every other league is here. College basketball is completely separate. It's its own thing, and it's its own uniquely terrible product.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's crazy how much I'll go through a cycle where I'm like, damn, I should get back into college basketball. I'll throw a game on, big man like catches it on the post, drop step, pump fake, just rolls off the rim, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna go back to the NBA. Any professional basketball rocks. EuroLeague rocks. The fucking FIBA tournament rocks. Who's like getting paid to play officially on the books, that's sick. But college, I don't know. When it's not like win or go home, when the stakes are lower, it's not the best product in the world.
Yeah, it's like the big, like you said, the big man misses the hook shot, and also he has two wide open guys from the 3-point line. He doesn't see them. Even if he did see them, they can't make the shot. So it's
he kicks out, and then he gets benched. The coach is like, "Put that shot up! Come on!" All right. A lot of talk about Paolo in that segment. Moving back to Detroit and their number one pick. We did already touch on this, but, I got it written down here. I put a little bit of elbow grease into it, so we might as well get it out there. Cade Cunningham leads the league in turnovers per game at 4.5. That number is higher than the combined turnovers of 12 starting backcourts.
Oh.
Wait. So you're telling me to take 10 teams?
Okay, no. My phrasing here is bad.
Oh, okay.
Like the shooting guard and the point guard for the team.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, like the Spurs or something. Malachi Branham and Jeremy Sohan or some shit like those two, but not 12 put together. That would be crazy.
Yeah, I was like, dang, I thought I was watching these games. How many times did he throw in the ball in the stands?
This has got to be false. Oh my god.
So 12, you said?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say Halliburton. Halliburton doesn't turn the ball over at all, so I'm gonna go with that. And then I'm gonna say yes, man. Because it's a lot of turnovers. Like it'll be right. Like, yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
Oh, wait, this is a true or false thing again?
Yes. Do you need it repeated?
Okay, so 12 backcourts. So 6. So wait, no. So 12. Okay, I'm gonna say.
So Cade out turnovers 12 backcourts by himself. Okay.
All right. With 4.5, I'm gonna say yes because it sounds extreme, and so I think we're being bogus here. Let's just say yes.
It's not 12. It's 18. It's more than half the league. Yeah. I went through every team today, and some of that is like you got a playmaker like Jokic, and so then Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is the shooting guard, averaging like 0.8 turnovers per game. 18 teams is a big sample size, man. That really shocked me.
And that's what makes it just so frustrating, because he's like a ninth in like potential assists and stuff like that. And so the ball's in his hands a lot. So he is learning. He is learning by doing, and that's like I was at Dave and Buster's 2 weeks ago for the in-season tournament, and they were like, oh yeah, I'm a big Dave and Buster's person.
Are you more Dave or more Buster?
Buster, definitely.
Come on, who's Dave? Come on.
And there were like 15 screens, and it was like the in-season tournament. Whoever the Pistons were playing was not shown on the screen. Oh. So I took my phone out. Got on League Pass on my phone, and then so I was at the bar with like a couple of my friends watching Pistons. I forget who it is, like again. And then the third quarter hit, and I was like, "Are you guys ready to see a team that leads the league in turnovers play basketball?" And just like clockwork, just like turnover. The game is just like out of reach. And I was like, "Oh man!" And like the thing with Cade is that some of these are like, "Hey man, Cade in space is the way," and I will always believe that. And like some of these turnovers wouldn't happen if like 4 people can just collapse on them with no repercussion whatsoever. But then some of these are just like, all right, Cade, that just wasn't the right pass, or like that just wasn't, you're throwing the ball too low at Duran's feet, or like that lob is just too out of range or stuff. So I'm like, and again, like he didn't play at all. Like he played like 10 games last season, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's just that second year of development. I'm just like, wow, that he's like I think he's playing a little bit of catch up, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm fine with it if Cade learns from like these things eventually. But if it's like by the end of the season, if it's like, oh, he's just doing the same old stuff, then I'm just like gonna be like, oh, that's when I'm gonna be a little bit like super worried, like what's going on.
I love the idea of you walking into the Dave and Buster's with your friends, and they intentionally have not put this game on the TV. The workers there, they're like, we don't need to subject people to this. Your friends are like, yeah, oh, I guess we can't watch them. Oh no. And then you're like, no guys, I'm here to save the day. We can still watch the Pistons on my phone.
Oh my god, dude. And there's one screen that did a Hornets Wizards update, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh my god, dude, that's so good.
The Pistons Lakers game got flexed off of NBA TV, dude.
Damn. Oh, wow.
That was like a week, I think a week ago. So I follow the beat writers, and I'm friends with Michael Curtis, and he tweeted out, is like, yeah, the Pistons Lakers game is not going to be on NBA TV anymore. I was like, oh my god.
What did they put in as the replacement? Do you know?
No, I have no idea. But the tweet was just like
one of those like jewelry auction shows for old people.
The QV
or whatever. Fake sapphire instead of
like,
Pistons game.
Or like when PBS runs out of money and they're like, donate, or we're not going to show Arthur.
Donate, or the Pistons are going under, please. That reminds me,
in the game, LeBron on the Lakers off of national TV is crazy.
Yeah, that was like, dude, this is absolutely not fun.
This was one of our box office games, and yeah, we can't even get that. Yeah, I heard one of the announcers in the Wizards game last night for the Pistons. They were like doing something where it's like first 1,000 people who show up get a free hat or something like that. And he goes, come on down, watch your Pistons. It's gonna be all right, guys. And they were doing like 17 to the Warriors or the Wizards. It was just like, dude, poor guy. Oh man.
Oh.
I hope their tickets better be as cheap as like those $4 Grizzlies tickets going around. They better be. Oh, that would be. You know what? If they had a deal where like $5 pizza, $5 Pistons tickets, I'd go.
I think they do that. I think they do that unintentionally already.
Nice. Wait, do they have Little Caesars in the arena?
I would assume so.
That would be crazy if they did.
And the tickets are already like mad cheap. So,
yeah. Damn. Factor in the price of a plane ticket. You can fly to Detroit, buy your ticket to the game, and it's like going to like a fun NBA game.
Yeah. Or don't pay for the plane, hijack the flight, land in Detroit, go to the game, flee to Canada after to avoid repercussions.
Whoa, famously doesn't extradite Canada. I just read that. Yeah.
Had this all spelled out. All right, DB Cooper.
All right. This is my last. Do you buy this? It's Giannis and Dame over the last 6 games. They've both kind of gelled offensively. Giannis is putting up 30 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists on 61% from the field, 14% from 3, 60% from the free throw line. Dame is putting up 28 points per game on 44, 39, 90 shooting splits. This is you guys can guess. I want you to guess which one of those two has a higher true shooting percentage.
I would guess Dame.
Kofie, how you feeling?
Are we tied 1-1?
You both got the last one wrong.
So I'm up 1-0.
Yeah, you're up 1-0. It's a big one.
I gotta guess Giannis just in the spirit of game theory.
We are tied. Oh my God. Giannis has the higher true shooting percentage with 14% from 3 and 60% from the free throw line. It's 63% for Giannis and 61% for Dame. So it's question. Close. And I mean, the mental math there, if you don't have the free throw attempts, you can't really do it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious, do you guys have any thoughts on the Bucks? They're 5-1 in that span. Their offense has gelled a little bit. It's like 6. Their defense, they haven't played good offenses in that span, really. I guess they played the Mavericks, but beyond that, it's been pretty bottom feeder teams. So yeah, I don't know. How you guys feeling about Milwaukee?
I'm not like a coaching staff free like offense expert or whatever, but I feel like Terry Stott's immediate departure like may have like affected the first like couple like trying to learn each other and trying to learn I read the article and I was like, oh dang, all right. But yeah, I feel like this is a Bucks team where you're just get it together by the time you get to the playoffs and like you'll be all right. Like I'm not like you're still learning how to play with each other. Like Damian Lillard's not Drew Holiday. There's still a lot to learn like offensively and defensively. It's gonna be like but the thing is like unlike a bad team, it's like you have the talent to still like put these wins together even if everything is not perfect execution or whatever. So like I'm chilling with the Bucks. Like honestly, I'm like, hey, it is what it is. Do I have them like pick? I still think the Nuggets terrify me, dude. But but like yeah,
they terrify me too. They've been stinking it up lately.
But yeah,
Pablo, you got any thoughts on Milwaukee?
Yeah, I just kind of anticipated this because Giannis was he's playing a role that he hasn't played a whole lot in his career before now. And then it's just like new roster it's not even a new roster. It's just a big shift going from Drew Holiday to Damian Lillard. There's growing pains. It's a new coaching staff. I know people are still not happy with Adrian Griffin. And it just seemed like something that was going to take time to gel as seamless as it would appear on paper. I think there were a lot of people preseason who were like, I don't know if this is going to be the thing right away, but I do believe that in time it will become the thing. It should be easy. And it seems the key, Giannis had some quote recently where like, it was kind of like Steph Curry-esque or whatever the Warriors said, where he's like, yeah, I just need to, Giannis was like, I'm going to let Dame be Dame and I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. And so they've kind of gone to that style of basketball, and I think it's working out. And so I'm hoping by the time the playoffs come around, I hope that they'll be an offensive juggernaut, and I just hope that the defense can get to a passable level.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I overestimated how good Giannis was at setting screens. I don't think I paid very much attention to that prior to this because it wasn't like a huge issue. But now when the whole thing is like the Dame Giannis pick and roll, the pick's got to be good. And I don't know, like that's a very easy thing to learn when you're 7 feet tall and like nearly 300 pounds of pure muscle. Like that's not learning how to shoot a basketball or something. You just stand there really hard. But it's surprising because down the stretch of games recently, it just hasn't seemed like they're involved with actions like together very much. It's felt like a lot of you go, and then once the defense is reacting to what you do, that opens it up for me to come down next possession and do what I do well. And I think the apex of that is getting it all to happen one after another in the same possession, and that'll lead to the stuff we theorized happening originally with like Giannis dragging 3 guys to the basket and Dame's wide open for 3, or vice versa. He gets doubled at half, and then Giannis is taking one guy and just like killing him on a dunk attempt or something. So yeah, I'm not worried about him. It's just something that jumped out to me while I was looking around. All right, that's all I got. You know what? I'm going to think of a number 1 through 10 because I don't want this to end on a tie. So, all right, I got it.
All right, 3.
7.
Oh, it was 2. Pablo wins.
Yeah.
Damn. Just like that. The first Would You Buy It champion, the inaugural. Congratulations, Pablo. And your prize is we get to play your game next.
Yes, sir. Now, this is a game I created with our guest in mind, Kofie. So, Kofie, you're a bit of a sports video game enthusiast, true or false?
Absolutely.
So, it'll be you versus Jack, aka JokicJoestar. We'll see. I have five. Each of you will get 5 opportunities for this. So, when NBA 2K12 came out, there was a lockout, and the original rookies were not put in the game. Do you remember this?
Yes.
I don't. I'm actually
I think
pretty microscopic video game sports guy. So I think
really?
this should. Yeah, I don't know. If I want to play basketball, I go outside and play basketball.
Oh no!
That's been my theory. I know, fucking dork. That's me. I'm sorry.
Loser. So in when 2K12 came out, there was the NBA was in a lockout, and so they couldn't put the real rookies in the game. So Kyrie Irving, whatever, they came months later. But originally, when you started your My Career, you had to play in a showcase with all these fake generated rookies. And then also, I know you went to the University of Maryland, and you're a baseball fan. What years were you at the University of Maryland?
2013 to 2017.
Oh shoot! Well, I missed the year. Oh well. Well, with the game is I'm going to read you 2 names, and you have to guess whether this was a 2K12 fake generated rookie or a real 2012 Maryland baseball player, official Maryland Terrapin baseball player. All right. So who would like to go first?
I'll give it to the guest. Kofie, you go.
I'll kick it off. Yeah.
All right, Kofie. Who is the 2K player and who is the Maryland baseball player? Aaron Dixon or Corey Wacker?
I'm gonna give Corey Wacker the baseball player. I don't think. Yeah. I'm gonna give Corey Wacker the baseball player and Aaron Dixon the 2K player. You
are 1 for 1. That is correct.
Hilarious name for a baseball player. Every time he hits the ball, whack.
yeah, it's accurate. All right, Jack. Eric Anderson or Jake Stinnett?
I'm gonna say Eric Anderson is the baseball player, and Jake Stinnett, by extension, has been generated by 2K. I think it's Kofie's turn to guess a generated basketball player.
Okay, all right. So, we'll go with Sean Kenny or Lee McDaniel. Who's the 2K player?
Oh, this is the rounds are getting tougher. I'm gonna go Lee McDaniel as the 2K player, and Sean Kenny as the baseball player.
You are correct again.
Oh, let's
go. Pulling ahead.
My friend, shout out to my friend. I'm not gonna say his full name. He used to get so mad at this guy Lee McDaniel in the showcase. He would call him Hoops McDaniel, and the entire time he was playing, he'd just be going, "Fucking Hoops McDaniel."
Oh man.
All right, Jack. Ricky Reed versus Charlie White.
Ricky Reed's got to be a basketball player, right?
You're right. All right, now you're only down 1. Okay.
Sounds like a Disney Channel original movie, like main character. Who plays, this is Ricky Reed. He's a normal teen until one day.
All right, Kofie. We got Alfredo Rodriguez versus George Turner.
Alfredo Rodriguez versus. I'm gonna go Alfredo, baseball player, and George Turner. No, actually, nope. Wait.
Pivot.
Wait. Alfredo, 2K player. George, baseball player.
Well, you were right until you changed it. Your first
Oh,
miss. Now,
damn.
now he can get back in the game. All right. All right. Michael Montville, Joe Patterson.
Give me Joe Patterson as a baseball player. That he's got like a left fielder, big Joey P out there.
Joe Patterson was a starting power forward, I believe, in the 2K fake generated team. You're
Hoops
still behind.
Patterson.
You're still behind. All right, Kofie. We have Cliff Davis versus Jack Cleary.
I'm gonna go Jack Cleary for baseball and Cliff Davis for basketball.
You're back in it. You're back in it.
Yeah.
All right, Jack. Dave Foster. It's a battle of the Daves. Dave Foster versus David Carroll.
Oh man. Dave Foster plays basketball.
You got it. You got it. All right.
Hey.
We're coming down to the wire. Kofie is up 3-2. And he can wait. Yeah, so you can clinch the win here, okay?
I can clinch, yeah.
All right, let's see. Comes down to this. Ben Brewster versus Derek Gibson.
The walk-off. Come on.
Derek Gibson, 2K, Ben Brewster, baseball.
Well, Kofie, it's with a heavy heart that I tell you, you won the first ever 2K generated first Maryland 2012 baseball roster showdown. Woo!
Oh my god. Put it in the rafters.
We'll do the consolation just so you hopefully feel a little better about being such a loser. Nick Brown versus Charlie Haslop.
Charlie Haslop plays baseball.
He does.
You're goddamn right, brother. Baseball players have a fun thing where, I don't know, a lot of them still sound like they were named during World War II. And Charlie Haslop is no exception.
Get ready to learn trench warfare, buddy.
Oh, God. Prepare for the draft, buddy.
My military history dad kicks down my door. Trenches were World War I, pal.
God, I would have been so bad in the trenches. I wouldn't have peeked my head up at all.
Oh, dude, no doubt. See, me personally, I would have been a pilot like Snoopy the dog. I would have been like a legendary flying ace. And so I would have survived World War I and probably been really cool and popular also.
Did they teach you about Audie Murphy in school?
I did not. My girlfriend's nodding yes. Audie Murphy reference.
Do you know Audie Murphy, Kofie?
No, I'm not familiar.
They used to teach us about this guy. Like, I think he was World War II, one of the World Wars, but they were like, this guy was so sick, he racked up the most kills. He had like 40 confirmed kills as an Air Force pilot or whatever. And like as a kid, you're like, okay, this guy was getting it. Because I'm playing Call of Duty. I'm like, okay, this guy's like me, but in real life, but he's better. and then once you grow up, you're like, okay, wait, that guy was just a psychopath. Like if he didn't get drafted, he's the Zodiac killer 30 years ahead of time. But instead, he got to channel all that rage into killing the Germans or whatever. So like, yeah, we
should be thankful. I mean, if those conflicts don't break out, who knows? Because in the 30s and the 40s, a serial killer do whatever you want. I mean, there's no way of getting caught unless they walk into the room where it's happening.
I always wonder that. Like, I feel like I could kill the entire state of Florida and then move to Oregon, and how would they know? How would they figure anything out? But also, they were,
Oh
I
my
don't know,
God.
they had things figured out, but I don't understand how they did back then. Like, how is the entire nation voting in 1871 with like mail-in ballots, but somehow it works better then than it does now? I don't know.
You blow up a few trains, you change the course of history. That's crazy.
Exactly. You know, I feel like that's applicable to a lot of different situations. You blow up a couple. All right, this is turning into too much of a we should start a podcast conversation. Damn, we should start a podcast. We're talking about World War II. So the last thing I got for you guys is still we're buying stuff. This is just a thing I'm calling buying stock. And so you could tap in and pick up a little stock on the record in anything, narratives, players, teams you feel confident are on the rise and not on the fall. Kofie, I will open the floor up to you as our guest.
Wait, what do you? Sorry.
I was just asking, is there any players that like you want to buy stock in right
absolutely.
now?
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I'm gonna buy stock into Jeremy Sohan. I think that stock. I think the Twitter stock of there's that the tweet where it's like, how can you miss Wemby on a 2-on-1 fast break?
Yeah,
like, dude, I feel like that's an all-time dip, and I would happily take the low stock on that, because I feel like even if this like point guard experiment like doesn't, if he's not the main point guard when it's all said and done for the Spurs, I feel like giving him the opportunity to like learn how to make those kind of plays will like still benefit the Spurs in the long term. So like I'm gonna definitely buy stock into that.
I would have been all in with you 100% until about maybe 3 hours ago when I saw a video of Jeremy Sohan eating pizza with ketchup on it. And so I am all the way out. I'm selling.
It gets even lower. I get to buy more shares.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's running the fast break, and then he's got ketchup all over his hands. And he just right
God!
Jeremy, you're gross, pal. Oh man, no, I follow a couple guys on Twitter who are like, just like Wembanyama dorks, and it's so funny watching them like lose their minds over the difference between like a 22 win season and a 28 win season with a real point guard in there. And I'm like, it doesn't matter anyways. Like, you're probably getting maybe a better stat line out of Wemby. Like, they're finding him in the post with a mismatch a little bit more often. But in terms of risk reward, if you can figure out how to have a 6'8" point guard who's a really good defender out there, yeah, that's actually super beneficial to go alongside the generational 19-year-old you just picked up. So maybe don't freak out right now. I'm on board with a little bit of Sohan stock.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit you guys with another historical reference. There are people out here ready to be thick wang duck when it comes to the Trey Jones over Jeremy Sohan. People who get it, that's such a good one by me. I can't believe I just thought of that. Google that. But yeah, Trey Jones, is he better right now? For sure. But listen, you're not playing for anything. So just ride the wave. Jeremy Sohan, there only positive things can come from this. So I'm in on Jeremy Sohan, and it's 6'9" ball handler who can make passes. Even if he can't be the primary, it's going to help him become a connector.
It is pretty funny to think about like if Kofie had opened this pod like, we need to be playing Monte Morris. That's the only way like this can succeed if we get Monte out there. Just because like you're not, there's no stakes. So just play the shit, guys, and tell them good. Pablo, you got anything?
Is ruined.
All right, you got any stock you want to buy, Pablo?
Let's see. Oh yes, I want to buy some Trae Young stock. So Trae Young, it's coming back up, baby. The 3-point numbers steadily ticking back up. The mid-range is not there. Once he starts hitting those floaters, it's coming back up. The passing is great. The whole Hawks offense is great. He's looking spry. He's looking good. And so once those shots start falling at a normal rate, he's getting to the free throw line at a crazy rate. He's getting there like, I think, shooting 10 of them and shooting like 90% of them. So I think I'm ready. I'm buying the Trae Young dip. I'm ready for the bounce back.
Hell yeah. I don't know. I think Trae Young is the topic where I learned my lesson about being a shit poster on Twitter. Because some guy, like, there was the Halliburton Trae Young duel, and it was really good, the Hawks Pacers game. And some guy tweeted out the box scores, and I was like, literally, this is the most efficient game of Trae Young's career that he's ever had. I looked it up, and I said that, and he quoted with like 2 graphs and like a paragraph. And I was like, I'm not doing this. He's sitting at like a 53% true shooting right now. It's fine. That guy made a whole video about me on TikTok, and I got tagged in it like he's like, you folded in the stat
you folded.
for stat.
Oh damn, that's
was he? Is he a big creator?
Me personally, no, I know him personally. I know him. I mean, we're mutuals.
No, he was chill. He was chill. He followed me back and everything.
Yeah,
no beef.
Yeah.
No beef. And I did.
No, that's all. It's all love. That's all love. But I, there's not a person that I like. I go to like, hey, I like Trae Young a lot. Like, I'm like, hey, this is like, I want to see him succeed. I want Nate McMillan arrested for crimes against basketball. You know, it's like that kind of thing. I was so excited to see Quinn Snyder like back in like with this Hawks team, like with the off season. It sucks that Jalen Johnson's going to be out for a while, but I still think there's a lot of optimism on this like Hawks roster, where it's like, hey, even without Trae like having to do a lot, I feel like there was a lot of like more balance than like just running Trae Young off double drag screens for an entire quarter, which like Nate McMillan would do. And you just be like, okay, well, that's no one else is like engaged, but now I feel like this offense is just way more engaged than
it's at least more fun to watch. I will say that. It's just like eating, I wouldn't call a drag off a double screen McDonald's, but it's like eating something that you like all the time for 48 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week. It's just too much. But yeah, like when you run a bunch of different actions and then that super effective one finds its place in the offense, especially at a crucial moment during the game, and the team's like, oh, fuck, I forgot this play's really good. Yeah, that rocks. And I would also like to shout out Trae Young trying on defense this year. Still a mismatch. People feel comfortable going at, but off-ball passing lanes, extremely active, engaged when he's on the ball. He's trying, and I just feel like that's notable and should go on the record. He's working.
You saw him lock down Mikal Bridges in crunch time?
It's not hard. I love Mikal Bridges. That man is a post, like a mid-range fadeaway merchant. That's the whole bag, and he's good at it. But, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. In my opinion, he's Kevin Durant, and that makes Trae Young the next Drew Holiday. So decoy watch, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh man. All right. My stock. Damn. I have one bullet here that has no notes under it. And then I have one that I wrote a lot. I'm gonna start with Halliburton, top 3 MVP candidate, and this is the one where I have notes.
I'm fine with it.
It doesn't feel, when you look at the Pacers roster, like this is a team capable of this caliber of offense. And they really aren't when he's off the floor. They're fine because they know how to move, and Buddy Hield can shoot and score a little bit on his own and things like that. But, yeah, Halliburton, he's leading the league in assists per game, total assists. He has half as many assists as the Rockets and the Knicks total rosters do. He's really been swinging the rock. And part of that's the scheme. They're just running everything through him, and they're trying to score 1 million points a night, but it's still fun. And I think they're currently like 7th in the East, which doesn't feel like all the teams ahead of them are teams like heavyweight Eastern Conference teams with solidified All-NBA guys. Most teams have multiple of them. And yeah, I'm rocking with the Pacers so far this season.
Win or lose, man, they've been fun, and it's like cool to see Tyrese Halliburton like just get to this level, because you knew that there are people that like had like they knew that he had that in them. And then like, but the thing I don't like is when they bring up the Sabonis trade and they're like, wow, the Kings are I'm like, come, dude, did you see them play together, man? Like that was just like, come on now. But it's cool, and of course it's always cool to see former Pistons doing great things on actual functioning basketball teams, in like the Bruce Brown edition, and then like Buddy Hield just like can't miss right now or something like that. Like
the Hawks sniper.
The Hawks Pacers game, there was like the fourth quarter, it was like Buddy Hield just like not even looking at it. It was like I was like, oh my god.
Buddy Hield is history's forgotten shooter. If you go and look over his career, like it's always high volume, 40-something% shooting. He's been nuclear his entire career. Also, how old is he now? Because I remember when he was drafted in 2016, one day we thought he was like 23 or something when he was drafted, and then one day he's like, by the way, guys, I'm 24 or something.
I'm gonna take.
We were like, what?
30? He's 30 years old. Holy
He's
shit.
30. Wow. All right. So
he's one of those guys where it's like, yeah, I don't know. You pull someone to the side, you're like, Buddy Hield's older than Anthony Davis or something like that. Like, what the fuck? Stop talking to me.
Shout out to Buddy Hield, the Bahama Mamba. He and the rest of the roster, it's just I don't know. It feels weird. It feels like Tyrese Haliburton really might be the guy who can just rehab. Like Jalen Smith was nothing on the Suns, and then now he's okay for them. I don't know. They're playing. They are scoring at an insane rate. They're giving up points at an insane rate, but it seems to be working out for them. So I don't know. I don't know if I do buy him. Let's see. Who would the top three be? So Jokic would be up there. Who else would be at the top of the
for
MVP
passers,
race?
Just like straight up MVP. My three would be Jokic, Embiid, and Haliburton. And then I think SGA is a close fourth to Haliburton. I would personally go Hallie over just because of how Oklahoma City's supporting cast, besides that one guy, it has been so far this season. But yeah, I don't know. I go Hallie over SGA.
How about you, Kofie?
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with Hallie over SGA for sure. And I think that I know that Joestar here is not going to like the months of Embiid Jokic MVP conversations we're about to get for another round. What is this, round 4?
Yes,
this round 3 or 4?
It's part 4. Oh my god, it's not even a trilogy anymore.
Hopefully someone doesn't go to a magazine this time saying, I don't know why I'm not getting it. This is the worst. But yeah, I think for me to have him up there, I think the Pacers would have to be a top 3 seed probably. But if he is up there, then I would definitely consider it because he's very much the reason why they're competitive.
Yeah. I also just want to put it out there just because I didn't realize it was the efficiency was like this. He is only trailing Steph Curry in 25 point per game scorers for efficiency. He's at 67% true shooting. Steph's at 68. Jokic has really fallen off a cliff as of late. He's at a measly like 64. And so, especially when he has the hot hand, it's like looking into the face of God. Like that dumb, he's shooting from below his waist and flicking it up, and it goes every single time.
Yeah.
And you react to that. Like the Hawks-Pacers game was insane just because they have this like all defensive caliber guy, DeJounte Murray, completely removed from defensive possessions down the stretch of the game because his job is to stand on the wing and make sure Haliburton does not get the ball back. And that was like the driving force behind Buddy Hield's explosion down the stretch of that game. It's just like they were fine playing 3-on-4 or whatever because Haliburton had just been cooking them so much for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think the Pacers, if you want to become a real contender, what you really need is maybe somebody who's like a mid-range self-creator type of guy, and then also maybe like an athletic 2-guard who can shoot threes and attack the rim. You can't keep getting
away with this.
And then maybe also take on like a point guard who's really good defender, and I would maybe like sink all my first-round picks into getting those guys. So that's what I would do if I'm the Pacers to take the next step. And also maybe a center, like big white center who's like can't move anymore, but he used to be able to shoot threes. So,
whoa, where could they find all that stuff? That's like unrealistic. Wow. No one has all those assets.
Like maybe like one state away. Maybe that's where I would start the search. I don't
know. And then my no research bullet point. It just says Karl Anthony Towns. I am not a big Karl Anthony Towns guy historically. I've been known to slander him here and there. I will not be doing that right now. He's been really, really good since his bad game against Boston where he fouled out. He's pretty much matching Ant's scoring volume on like nearly 50, 60, 90 shooting splits. He has been an absurd offensive engine, and it's over half of their season at this point. It's like 9 or 10 games, and he's just been really, really solid, and he's a big driving force behind them. So many basketball games and being the 1 seed in the East. If that, I know they're playing OKC right now, and I don't know how that's going, but Karl Anthony Towns stock, I'm buying it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Both of your videos cameras froze.
Shoot.
No.
No, it might just be on my end though. But yeah, I totally agree with like, dude, Minnesota's been sick, which is like something that like I rarely say ever.
In any capacity.
Yeah, like no, like, but like seeing that from Cat, especially because like there's been a lot of like tweets being like, "Yo, Cat's getting traded. Trade Cat. Trade." If Cat can like make this really work, I'm all for it. Especially like with like Gobert as the rim protector, and then like just having all of these just people that want to buck down defensively, and like Ant and Jaden McDaniels. It's like that's like scary, dude. Honestly. Also, Mr. Consistent Mike Conley. Gotta give him some props. It is what it is. Like they're fun. And do you remember the article in The Athletic where it was like the pond might not be big enough for Anthony Edwards in Minnesota? Yeah. I think
He needs a bigger market.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was like 4 big games in Manila, and they're like, get him out of Minnesota, man. We gotta get him to LA. But yeah, Towns is fantastic. He's kind of a dweeb. He's kind of inconsistent, but man, he at the end of the day, he's a 7-footer, 6'11" maybe. I don't know what he is. But he's big guy who fantastic 3-point shooter. Can take bigs off the dribble and finish. He can post up and obliterate mismatches, and that's just rare. Like there's not a lot of guys on rosters that can do that. So I think props to them for sticking it out. I don't know if they had any options. They were kind of held hostage by their Gobert trade, but it seems to be working out, and I'm happy it's working out for them.
Yeah, I will say when you really think about guys in the league who can make a 2 big pairing work with Rudy Gobert, and a good Karl Anthony Towns, the good version of him, there aren't that many guys in the league who are better to make that pairing work. It's like him, and then obviously Nas Reed, the league's best center. But yeah, I don't know. That was one of my bait tweets. Was just move Karl Anthony Towns, run the 2 bigs with Nas Reed. You will lose nothing, and you'll get a better defender out of it. But since then, he's been really good. He's been locked in defensively too, and I just wanted to shout him out. In the playoffs, this could all change, and I could look really stupid, but that's months from now. So no one's even remember this. I can say whatever I want.
All right, I'll go next. So the Dallas Mavericks, I'm not selling stock, but Mark Cuban has sold his stock in real life. Did you guys get the alert? What do you think about Mark Cuban selling the most public owner in the league? He's like, I'm out of here. Is Luka on fraud watch? Did he look at Luka and think my investment's going down the toilet? What happened?
It's interesting how they're like, he still has like control of basketball operations or something.
Oh, he does?
That's what
it's an insane deal for whoever bought the team. It's like, I still get to do all the shit that the owner does. I have all my shares and I'm in charge, and you own the basketball team. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine a ton of shit is going to change on that front if whoever bought it agreed to that. And Mark Cuban hasn't been horrible for Dallas compared to, I don't know, the Bulls owners suck just off the top of my head.
Tom Gore is retire, buddy. Sell the team. I've had it.
Man, I'll tell you what, because if there's one thing we all value Mark Cuban for, it's for his basketball decision making and not his deep pockets. Oh yeah, yeah.
He's in a boardroom and he's just like, "Would you guys still like me if I was just pulling in like $80K a year. Could I still hang out here?
I just build it up the next day. I'd go to the Facebook flea market and trade in a button for a bigger button and then a bigger button. God, I the rise and grind, man. But I'm still there's been some Luka slander going around. Was there like a big Twitter thread or something about how Luka is bad by metrics?
I didn't see the thread. I saw ripple effects of the thread.
Yeah, I
like,
only saw allusions
stupid.
to this thread.
I'm new. This is new to me.
Yeah, no, I just saw tweets where it's like someone really trying to use rebound percentage to say Luka isn't good. And I don't know, Luka has had a bad couple of games by his standards. So just like 18-point near triple double on like fine efficiency. And the Mavericks are still third in the West, I believe. They're still winning basketball games and everything. I think he just fell out of the limelight because we've grown so accustomed to him just being like this bedrock 28, 8, and 8 kind of guy that the second that stops happening, even though he's only 25, 26 years old, and there's going to be off nights and like waves in his development, people are ready to jump ship on Luka sometimes, it seems like.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And it's like the thing where you're right, he's just so phenomenal, like day in and day out, where he makes the like great seem normal and the normal seem like putrid. You know?
Yeah.
He's just wild, man. It's wild that
are we in 07 LeBron territory with him, do you think?
Where it's like LeBron could do like so much well that like if he's just like pedestrian, because that's when like because LeBron for like, his whole career basically is like 25, 8, and 8 in his sleep, and it's like, oh, but is it in his sleep? You know, like,
yeah,
and it's like, it's like appreciate greatness, guys. Come on.
And a lot of that's in an NBA where there's like the league leader in triple doubles is like 6 a year. It's Jason Kidd pulling down like 10 rebounds one night and just like, holy shit, he got a triple double. So 25, 8, and 8 back then is insane. And I think we're close to 07 LeBron, just in terms of like how much we've taken for granted. I think in terms of level of play, LeBron is so good defensively.
Yeah.
When you look at that first Cleveland stint, it's terrifying just in terms of like what a guy that size, how he can move through space, much less like how intelligent he is on the defensive end of the basketball. And Luka has been more engaged now that he has a cast like Grant Williams and Derek Lively, and Derek Jones Jr. has been really good for them defensively. Luka's been more tapped in, similar to Trey, but it's not a gap that he's going to be able to close. So I think when you start those comparisons, you need to acknowledge that he'll probably need to go even further offensively to kind of make up for that.
Yeah, so let me clarify, because I just threw that out there. I mean 07 LeBron in terms of this guy is like very clearly one of the greatest players in the league, like, and he has almost no blemishes on his resume, but people are like, I don't know, feel like he sucks. Why didn't he win a championship?
Doesn't move me. Yeah.
He got this guy sucks in the playoffs. He lost to a Clippers team that he kind of dominated and just lost because his teammates didn't do that well. He lost to a Warriors team where he was very clearly outmatched, outgunned, and he still did fantastic. And people are like, well,
oh my God,
if he's so good, why didn't he just win? And so I'm like, okay, I guess I'll wait for you guys to catch up. In a few years, he'll win a championship, and they'll be like, he's finally good, guys. He did it.
He got over the hump. Oh my God, yeah. Luka is so interesting. If you go back and watch the Clippers series, and like especially if you kind of remember what the narratives were going into that, it's like this is a trial by fire of Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Pat Bev, and then like a supplemental defender is whichever Morris brother they had on the team, who was still a pretty damn good defender back then. And so it's like 4 guys who are just a nightmare to go at for a young in-between forward guard, and Luka just lit them the fuck up like that. Yeah, I don't know if that didn't wake you up. You took too many Ambien, friend. You gotta come on. Kofie, are you
Kofie, do you
buying
have any stock
any more stock to buy?
Any more stock to buy
or sell?
Ooh,
I mean, it's
stock to
okay.
buy.
We're clocking in an hour 30 here. I don't want to give away too much,
Stock
but
to
if you got
buy.
any more bullet points, we can hit them real quick.
Oh man, I don't. Should I sell the Lakers right now? Like
America's team, the Lakers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lakers,
no.
throw it, yeah, throw it out there for this 24-hour news cycle. Yeah.
Oh man, I can put the Lakers in the hashtags of this video, so that rocks. Yeah.
No, okay, just now now that we got the SEO out of the way, I am intrigued about the Pelicans. Yeah.
I'm listening. I shout out to friend of the program, Trey Murphy, follows me on Twitter. So yeah, that's my guy.
Help, let me out.
Him and Larry.
It's like so it's like these Pelicans are like they're 9-9, right? And it's like they have like Ingram and Zion, and like we haven't gotten to the point where like, oh my god, this is because last year the Pelicans were like the 1 seed for a while, and you're like, oh shit, is this year? And then it all falls apart. I'm gonna buy into the Pelicans figuring it out. I don't know why. I don't know how. I just want to just believe in something.
I don't think that's the worst take in the world. I see a path forward for that. Absolutely. Let me out. Herb Jones has been not just really good defensively. He has also been like a capable supplementary playmaker. He has nights where he can score the ball pretty effectively. He's been a solid 3-point shooter, I believe, so far this year. And then you have GTA just came back. CJ McCollum is on the way back. Zion.
Oh, Jordan
crossed.
Hawkinstock. That's right. I remember Jordan Hawkinstock. There it is. I was like Pelicans. Yeah. I'm like I'm missing something. There it is. Jordan Hawkins.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a nuke. That's Bobby Oppenheimer walking around in 2023. Like
my boy,
he gave
Stranger
31. Yeah,
yeah. It's so cool to see like a team that has like a movement shooter, and then you look at your team and you're like, we have none of these players, and then you're like, oh, that's fine. Our closest player that lets it fly right now is like Isaiah Livers, and I'm like, okay, that's all right. But yeah, it's really cool to see like this like Pelicans team. You know, they're still like I'd say fairly young outside of McCollum and Valanciunas, but like. I'm excited. I've always been a fan of Brandon Ingram, you know, even when he played at like Kingston in high school, because I like would watch the tournament where he was playing. And then I feel like him and Zion are like it intrigues me the most often, being like, how do these guys play off each other? Because you see like the highs and then you see like maybe that should be ironed out of the playbook or something like that, you know.
When they're both on at the same time, they look abhorrent in a good way. I saw a game with them versus the Kings where they were both on. Oh my god, it was unreal. And that it's so funny Kofie, to think of you watching Jordan Hawkins sprinting at 20 miles an hour around screens, getting like the hint of daylight just enough where he sinks a three, and then you flip to a Pistons game and Asar Thompson has 10 feet and 10 hours to make a wide open three, and you're like, God, I hope he makes it. He won't though.
Yeah, it's like, wow, man.
And what's crazy?
Yeah.
You go, Kofie. You go. Let's hear it.
And it's not. And again, with the Pistons, again, I hate to bring it all back, but it's nothing against the players' skill set. I feel like the front office should just know that you need other types of players on the team.
I mean, yeah. If you're in the draft room every year and I don't know, they should just like paint it on the wall every time they take a guy where like the big question is if he figures the shot out, shit will pan out. Because if they'd done that, they'd have a wall full of that quote the way they have a roster full of guys who it's like, when he puts that together, everything else clicks because then the defense will close out and shit changes. But yeah, it's the same way like Pablo just said. When defenses they don't even look at Asar in the corner. It's crazy.
No, dude. If he gets I'm like, just the corner three first. Forget the rest of the arc. The corner three. Just to start with that. and I feel like we're so many steps ahead.
Yeah.
It might have been you who put it on my timeline. Someone quoted a video of him. His turnaround jumper in the mid range is mechanically it's very sound, and he hits it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the percentages are, but this highlight reel made it look like he's really good at them. So I don't know. Like, it just looks a lot more fluid and a lot less thought out than his 3-point shot, which is that kind of muscle memory is where you hope to see him get. And so the fact that he already has it for a jumper at a different spot on the floor, promising enough.
Yeah, I think the mechanics thing, I'm just like, okay, you're giving me enough promise versus like if I saw someone else's like kind of shot where it's like, oh, we need to rework this from the ground up, then I'm like, okay, I don't trust this as much, you know.
Yeah, it's like when you see Markelle Fultz take a mid-range pull-up like 10 feet away from the basket, and you're like, wait a second, that's the Washington jumper. That's literally it. Where did it go? Why you still have it? You just can't bring it out back there. But yeah, going back to the Pelicans, they're so interesting because it feels like they are a roster with an answer for everything. Like, we need to lock up a guard. Well, we have Jose Alvarado, fantastic. You need to lock up a wing. We have all these guys. We have Herb Jones. We have Trey Murphy when healthy. Oh, we need isolation, self-created score. We have Brandon Ingram. Oh, we need rim pressure to suck in the entire team because they're like, oh my god, this big ogre is gonna dunk on us if we don't bring our whole roster. Well, you got Zion. They have Jordan Hawkins now, the movement shooter. Once they get CJ back, you have like dynamic ball handler, shooter, passer. So it just feels like this is the roster of a contending team, but they just can't get everything together at the right moment. So once everyone's together and healthy, I'm just hoping that we have a breakthrough and everything looks like it's supposed to.
Yeah. What's crazy is when I've tuned into Pelicans games, Zion's been good. It doesn't feel like he has been at the level he was when he was like 27 a game on 60% from the field, which is fine. I'm not worried about him never reaching that height again or anything. I'm just saying, if all of the shit comes together at the right time, and then you additionally he starts hitting these little like hang in the air, contort around the defender and like lay it up. His touch has just been a little bit off in the games I've watched. And so if he corrects that, on top of all of the other stuff falling into place for the Pelicans, I'm not sure what the playoffs look like in terms of a deep run. I know I would not want to play them in the first round. That's like an uncomfortable matchup for pretty much every team in the West.
Absolutely brutal, yeah. You risk your perimeter playoff like guards getting locked out. Straight up Alcatraz, dude. Across the board. That'd be nightmare.
Oh man. And that's such a narrative, like tough battle to lose, is because when a big man gets locked up, it's fine. It looks a little clumsy or whatever, but it truly is like Darrell Revis on an island. Like if you're just out there versus GTA or whoever, and like you try two moves, they're there, and you just have to like pass it off. That's embarrassing, man.
And then he's clapping in your face and yelling.
Yeah, man, yeah.
He's hiding behind the ref. We can see you, pal. Like we know you're coming for the steal.
Yeah, they have guerrilla warfare too.
All right.
Honestly, the only thing they're missing is good uniforms. I still don't like their uniforms. I
like the skeleton ones. Yeah, I like the laser tag glow in the dark one.
Yeah, it's black. It has neon green details, and the pelican that they usually have, they turned him into a skeleton version of him. He's spooky now.
I've also been negative on the Pelicans jerseys for a while. That's a hard jersey.
I have somehow missed that entirely. That does. I'm gonna look that up.
No, look it up. It's really cool. I honestly, I wasn't like, without the skeleton thing, they're fine. But with it, it's like a small detail that is just like it makes it very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone have any other stock they want to sneak in? Right. The market's closing. I think we're at Wall Street. I don't really know how it works there. I've never I don't know.
They ring a bell or something? Ding, ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding.
yeah. Well, this is the Wolf of Wall Street. This is the scene where Matthew McConaughey goes, "Holy shit!" and then everyone loses their job. The market's crashing, so get stuff in right now.
And I get to hold Margot Robbie's hand.
Oh, damn!
Okay.
A little bit spicy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no big.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's probably gonna do it for this episode then. I'm trying something new out. Everyone like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Is that a YouTuber?
Yeah. We're fucking here, baby. Oh my God. What can I say? So yeah, do all that stuff, ring the bell, and shout out to Kofie. You got anything to plug while you got a little platform here?
Feel free to follow me on YouTube at Kofie KofieWhy, Twitch KofieWhy, and TikTok KofieWhy. Thanks for having me, man. This is so fun.
Yeah, this rocked. Hell yeah. Good job winning the baseball game. Can't believe I don't have the generated 2K12 names memorized, but that's on me. Should have known.
You'll get there. You'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah. He doesn't know ball. Fraud watch. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Wait, one more thing.
Oh, wait. What you got, Pablo?
PabloEscoball on TikTok, but that doesn't matter. Go to Hot Tunes TV China NBA on YouTube. There's a 47-minute video on Jaden Ivey versus Killian Hayes. I 47 minutes. I did it for. Go watch it, please.
Dude, put it on Pistons Reddit, man. You will be up there.
Hey,
they might pin that video. That might be permanently pinned.
Someone cares. Someone cares. Hell yeah. Everyone go watch it. You're doing the laundry, doing the dishes, driving around. After you finish this episode, go do it. Oh, Pablo's fucking gone. So cool. I'll see you guys next episode. Kofie, thanks for coming. Peace.
Of course. Thanks for having me.